What's up, everybody? It's your girl TK, and we are back for another segment of Monday Mail. Well, somebody is asking what's in the mail bag today. We have an exciting show for you tonight. I have some mail that I am going to deliver, and it's going to be great. So I want you to join in. I want you to chime in. This is the Working the Dash community. We are building a community here, and thank you so much for you all who are here with me today. Well, it's actually tonight, but a charge to keep I have, and it is Monday Mail. And so I'm here with you and so grateful. I'm seeing so many of my friends here coming on. And what's up, everybody? I see you, Terrence Crockett, Vincent Carter, Merica Green, Larry Thorne. I see all of you all. I see you here, Tamara Lyon. Thank you so much for being right here with me. We're at the mailbox and we're getting ready to check the mailbag, but I have a special surprise for you today, a special surprise. What I would like to do, I want to pause right here to thank each and every one of you who jumped on last week. So if you jumped on last week, there is something in store for you. I have created a spin wheel that I am going to give away some prizes. Somebody put in the chat, prizes. It's prize time at the mailbox. It's prize time. You know how when you go to the mailbox, you're actually expecting something. So I'm going to spin this wheel, and if your name is landed upon, you are going to get some mail. Isn't that exciting? That is exciting. So thank you for joining me right here at the mailbox. We're getting ready to go to that stream here, and we're getting ready to spin the wheel. If you are not present at this time, that is okay. We're just going to go ahead and spin this wheel and see where this lands. Let's see. Let's take a look. Who is the, hey, somebody give it up for Mia Davis, a part of the Working the Dash community. She is going to be getting some mail. I'm going to spin one more time just because I'm just feeling great. I'm just feeling like passing out something tonight. So yes. Woo! Let's see who it is. All right. Merica Green, she said she was standing at the mailbox and she is going to get some mail. That's my sister there. And she's going to be getting some mail. We're going to do it. Does somebody want to do it one more time? Just one more time. If you want it, just spin. If you want to spin one more time, just put in the chat. I want to see you say one more time. Just one more time. One more time. Okay, I see one more time. I see it. All right, I see you. Oh, Brittany Arnold. Okay. Let's give it up for Brittany Arnold. She is the recipient of some mail, and we are excited about that. So thank you so much for joining me at the mailbox. And tonight we have some more exciting news. We're going to talk to you about how the etiquette of being on Zoom. Okay, so we had some mail come in asking about what are some tips for those of us who are still in this virtual space. We're in the virtual space, and guess what? Even though we have been vaccinated and things are happening around us, the mailbox is going to be filled tonight with mail that's going to give us some rules for being in a Zoom meeting. Now, I know you all have been living in this virtual space for some time, but can somebody just help me say there are rules to Zoom? Zoom has rules. And as with anything, we want to do everything with the spirit of excellence. We want to do everything with an excellent spirit. And that also means being on Zoom or any virtual platform that you're being invited to. We want to give you just some particulars of the etiquette of Zoom. So I want to see some hand claps, and I need some hearts. I need you all because this is so specific. I wanted this community to be so specific that it's only being cast to the Working the Dash community. Now, isn't that beautiful? I love you all so much that this is not for everybody. This is only for those of you who take the time to join in to Working the Dash with me on a daily basis. This is a group for ministry leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, and anybody who's trying to do something. You're leading and you want personal growth. Working the Dash is the community for you. So let's talk about the rules to Zoom. Let's talk about it. I want you all to start telling people where you're coming in from as well. Just type in the chat where if you're in the city of Memphis, tell us where in Memphis you're you are located, because I want to know where you're coming in from. So let's jump right into this. There is a host of information that is all across the internet right now regarding how we should present ourselves during Zoom meetings. And so when I received the mail, which was the question of what are particulars to Zoom etiquette, I felt the need to go ahead and jump right into this one. Let me give you some statistics. Roughly 2/3 of the United States workers have been working from home since the top of the pandemic. And even though there have been restrictions that have definitely lifted, there are a lot of persons who are still working remotely. Let me go ahead and throw in there for the ministry leaders. There are some, even though church has now come open, church will never be seen the same as it was prior to the pandemic, right? Because we have a hybrid congregation now. We're casting from several different areas within these virtual platforms. And it's very important that we show up the right way on Zoom. So Zoom, if we're coming on Zoom, or if you're have invited anyone to any particular platform, it is very important. Help me type this. Do not be late. It is very important for you not to be late. If you are the host of the show, or the host of the meeting, or the host of the service, or the host of the boardroom at that particular time, it is very important that you are at least 15 minutes earlier. Do you know earlier than your colleagues or ministry persons that are going to be joining on with you, or business owners, or whatever you're calling them for? The worst thing that can happen is that a participant logs into your virtual space that you have invited them to, and they're waiting on the host to either unlock the room. And I'm not saying you're in the waiting room, the lounge area where the host has to admit you to the meeting. I'm saying it's really bad to show up and the meeting is either locked, it has not started, it hasn't kicked off. So you can be on webinar, you can be on a Cisco WebEx, wherever you are doing this from. It's very important that you show up first. Somebody type that. The host needs to show up first. It's just like inviting someone into your home. You are the host, right? You are the host. So you don't want your guest to drive up and you're not there, and you're saying, hey, I'm still at the store, I'm still trying to get things together. You need to be there and you need to be present. Next thing you need to do, if you are invited to a meeting, I know a lot of us now have learned how to not turn on the camera, but we need to turn on the camera. Come on, type number 2. Turn on camera. Turn the camera on. Turn on your camera, especially if you are in a meeting with your boss, or a pastor has called you to a meeting, or those of us who are working in levels of leadership that require us to meet with executive officials, or if you are in corporate and you're meeting with executive officials, it is very important that you show your face. That's just like showing up, because the worst thing you can do as a host, I don't know about you, and you can put it in the chat, but if you've ever hosted a Zoom call or anything in the virtual platform space and nobody has their camera on, it's very, very difficult to talk to black squares. Am I right? Do I have some witnesses out there? It's very difficult to speak to people who look like they're present, but they're not. You could be mopping the floor, you can be doing dishes. Hey, we're all guilty, because Zoom, I don't know about you, but most of us are probably Zoomed out. We're probably virtual platformed out. Everything we do now is in front of the computer. So there are times that a Zoom call is on and we're preoccupied with certain things. But if you are called to a meeting that consists of a high-level executive or a ministry leader, please turn on the camera. Okay, let's go. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving. All right, once your camera is on, somebody say, once that camera is on. Once that camera is on, here's another piece of etiquette for you. Do not eat. Do not sit there and eat a full meal. If you must eat, if your meeting is during your lunch break, such as if it has been at my job, I have said to the meeting host, or I've sent her a private message, and I'm saying this particular meeting runs into my lunch hour. This is the absolute only time I can eat. I'm going to step off of the camera just for a moment. I'm going to scarf down a little bit, and then I'll come back onto the camera. It's not good to have your video on and you are eating chips and cornbread and chicken and hamburgers, and you wiping your mouth, and the person who's leading it, they're watching you eat, they're distracted, and they're trying to figure out, oh, what does she have? You getting up, going to the refrigerator, getting steak sauce and ketchup and things, all of that kind of stuff. We have to be very, very cautious of how we are presenting ourselves on virtual platforms. Another thing, and I'm headed down the runway here. I see Elter Black on here, so I'm going to use a little airport lingo. I'm headed down the runway, Elter. I'm headed down the runway. Listen, when you're on Zoom, be still, sit still, get in your chair and sit. Let me tell you something. The worst thing you can do is consistently move around, move about, and your camera is on, or you're walking with your camera. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but you might be walking with your camera and you're walking, your hair is flapping in the wind and your phone is moving up and down. And it's a lot of distraction because it's movement. People are thrown off. They're highly distracted because they are not able to pay attention. This is just a human brain. They're not able to put that in a compartment. They cannot compartmentalize you moving all around and them trying to have a focused conversation with you. It makes people a little dizzy, if you will. So you sit down, be still. If you need to move, don't get up, because we don't want to see all of your torso in the camera. That's not good. If you have to turn around and put something up, we don't want to see the back of you. So politely turn off your camera, politely turn that camera off, and do what you need to do. Walk in the building or adjust your seat. If I have to adjust my seat or adjust something while I'm sitting in a Zoom meeting, especially at work, what I do is I turn my camera off momentarily. I make the proper adjustment, and then I bring my camera back on, because it's highly distracting when you are consistently moving around and you are, it's just not a good look. So somebody type, not a good look, not a good look. Okay, so I want you to understand also, when I say try not to multitask while you are on Zoom, because there are sometimes you're on Zoom, and what we don't even realize is that sometimes, let me tell you something about your cell phone and being on Zoom. Sometimes when you're on Zoom and you're on your cell phone, you can be casting different things. You might lose your space. Zoom is going to go off. You can still hear them, but if your name is called, perhaps it takes a minute for you to readjust. You have to readjust, figure out where Zoom is on your phone. You have to now go back into the meeting, figure out what's happening. So it's really good to stay focused in that meeting. I understand at work, a lot of our meetings do run over. And because this is Working the Dash and it's Working the Dash community, and because I am answering a question about etiquette, it's primarily for work. So when I was sent the information, it was for work. How can I be more presentable at my job when I'm on Zoom? Because apparently they were asked about that and kind of confronted about some of the things that they were doing. Another thing we need to do, let's all practice the mute. Okay, so when you come into Zoom, let me tell you, automatically mute yourself. Just go ahead and mute yourself. Make sure your little microphone is lit up and you see that red slash through it. Just let yourself know that you're on mute. If you have to come off of mute, you will know you're off of mute when you see the little microphone sign light up. You can actually, I don't know if everybody knows this, but when you press the space bar, you can actually press the space bar, and the space bar will mute and unmute you. The space bar will mute and unmute you. So let's be intentional about how we are focused. Now, I gave us several tips to Zoom, and I see the person who actually sent me this question on with us tonight. So I am hopeful that the question has certainly been answered, and that these tips, and if you have some extra tips that you want to throw over in here, please feel free to do so. There are so many different places, pieces of etiquette that we can share. We've all been on Zoom. We've all been in a virtual platform. We've all been in this virtual space together. So I know that the tips that I just shared are very, very minimal. They're very surface. They're the tip of the iceberg, if you will. But I am very open to you all just throwing in some other tips that we would have, just to let us know that it is okay to share tips with each other, because we're all in this virtual space together. We want to present ourselves well. We want to be men and women who have the spirit of excellence. We always want to come off as excellent. Make sure you wake up, brush up, show up. You have to look presentable when you are on Zoom or your virtual space. I know at work we use webinars a lot. We use WebEx, Cisco WebEx a lot. And we use Microsoft Teams. I'm very intentional about how I show up, because you don't want to look like you just woke up. When you're being called into a meeting at your job, get up, get dressed, look like you're getting ready to go to work, even if you just throw on something like this. But I have noticed that when I wear a jogging suit to work, even though I'm at home, I have noticed that even when I wear a jogging suit to work, that's pretty much going to be the level of performance. It's like it's going to be relaxed. It's going to be, not that I'm not going to put myself in that space, but when I get up and I put that dress on, or that nice collared shirt on, and I'm dressed for work, I'm dressed to be on camera, it just takes your performance, it doubles it. It makes it exponential. It makes it excellent. It puts you in the mindset that you are at work, even though you are sitting at home. So I hope these tips have been a help to you. This has been TK, and I've been at the mailbox with you. Join me next week. We're going to be back here next Monday again with Mel right here. If you have something that you want to definitely give me to research, if you have questions you want to ask, we want to make sure that as we are working the dash, we are maximizing the middle. This has been your girl TK. I appreciate every single one of you who have joined in tonight. I hope and pray this has been something that has been helpful to you. Again, feel free, throw some things over in that chat. Let's help one another. And thank you for being a part of the community. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. And I look to see you again next week.